What's up, guys? It's Mantis here. There's not going to be any funny Kilgore jokes for this one. There's just something I want to state before I get into this. Every clip I'm using in this video, every sound clip, every video clip, it's all used with fair use in mind, and I do know the regulations behind it. This shouldn't be a video that needs to get taken down, and it's not a negative video. But a lot of people ask me, why'd you choose the name Mantis? And a lot of people in TeamSpeak know why I chose the name Mantis, but want to hear this story a lot. So today, this triggered. You guys, it's about me, and it's about how I used to be a real-life superhero, and how I used to be the sidekick of Seattle's own Phoenix Jones. So let's get right into it and talk about it.
Nighttime brave, he's the black and white in this world gone gray. Some say there's no heroes in the...
Alright guys, I grew up in Seattle, Washington. I was raised there, and it continues to this day to be one of my favorite places on this planet. I've been all over the United States, and coming home to Seattle is one of my favorite things in the world. It is so refreshing to be there. It is so great to be there. But I met Ben Fodor in middle school, high school. I met a kid who was a very little, skinny kid who liked to breakdance, who liked to freestyle rap, and who liked to have a good time. He was very refreshing to be around. But that's not really the beginning of our story. Our story really begins in about 2010, 2011, when I was admittedly super stoned and watching the local news. That is when I was introduced to something that would change my life forever, and that would be the superhero patrolling Seattle known as Phoenix Jones. I'm going to take you back to that moment right here.
And you just start sticking it down inside between the window here and the rubber strip.
Dan was calling 911, but help flew in before he finished dialing.
From the right, this guy comes dashing in, just wearing this skin-tight rubber black and golden suit, and starts chasing him away.
What Dan didn't know is just about every night, an anonymous Seattle man strolls into this comic store, enters a hidden back room, and emerges transformed.
My name is Phoenix Jones.
He's the hero Dan's been trying to tell his friends about.
People are saying, no way, dude. No way. They're like, oh, you were probably drunk.
But he sounded familiar to us. We'd heard about how he and the other 8 members of his Rain City superhero crime-fighting movement walked the streets, eyes out for crime, prepared to fight it. And we brought these two together.
That's crazy.
Nice to meet you, brother. How you doing?
It's good to meet you, man. Wow, that's insane, man.
Phoenix explained his whole supersuit to Dan.
That's a taser nightstick.
And he showed him the bulletproof vest and stab plates.
You know, I've got mace/tear gas over here, so.
But then it was time for Phoenix to get back out on the streets. Maybe not quite Superman, but an extraordinary one.
So when I walk into a neighborhood, criminals leave because they see the suit. I symbolize that the average person doesn't have to walk around and see bad things and do nothing.
Okay, let's just say at this point, I was fucking enamored with what was going on here. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, are you trying to tell me there's a fucking superhero that's patrolling around, fucking doing all this crazy shit, getting all this shit done, like fucking stopping crimes? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so I followed him a little bit. I'd hear little stories here and there of like, oh, you know, Phoenix Jones busted this up. You'd see him on the news. He'd do this sort of thing, that sort of thing. But then one very important day came. And this day is literally the day that changed my life.
October 2011. Phoenix Jones comes upon a fight and wastes no time jumping in to save the day. Well, sort of.
I see this dude get punched in the face, fall down, another dude's soccer kick him. So I start running down the street screaming, call 911. We break the fight up. One guy's getting kicked, so I spray a guy in the face. That guy's girlfriend gets crazy, takes her shoe off and starts beating me over the head.
Ironically, Phoenix Jones is arrested for aggressive use of pepper spray. Unless he hangs up his costume, the DA threatens to reveal his secret identity. Our hero beats him to the punch, and Phoenix Jones is unmasked by none other than...
I'm Phoenix Jones.
...himself.
Seattle's self-proclaimed superhero, Phoenix Jones, revealed his identity to the world today.
Phoenix is really Ben Fodor, a mixed martial arts fighter.
It was the worst day ever because I felt like I had made this danger on my family, and it was the best day ever because I realized what I was doing was the right thing.
To put it lightly, I couldn't fucking believe what I was seeing. Here's this guy that I'd known for years and years and years, and the superhero I'd been looking up to for months, and they were the same person? They were the same guy. And there was a decision that I knew I had to make. The decision I knew I had to make was to put on a costume, hit that guy up, and tell him that I was joining the good fight, and I was going to help him patrol Seattle. So let's see how that went. And maybe we can talk a little bit about how I dressed.
It was an especially dark night. The kind that puts a twisted smile on the faces of criminals hiding in the long shadows. Ben Fodor, a mild-mannered local resident, is returning to his car with his young son in tow.
I realized my window's been broken, and glass has been smashed on the ground out in front of the car, and he's cut himself on it. So I pick my son up, and he just starts gushing blood from his leg. I didn't know how to tell my son that it was going to be safe next time we went out, and that this wouldn't happen again if I personally couldn't tell him I did something about it.
What makes a hero? Courage, resolve, and a passion for justice. What makes a superhero? All of the above, plus a totally awesome rubber suit. Now armed with a superhero name, a bulletproof costume, and a pretty big can of pepper spray, Phoenix Jones takes to the streets, leaving his MMA gloves and his career behind him. Pretty soon, Phoenix Jones inspires other Seattle crime fighters.
You know who that guy in the green ninja costume is? I'll give you a guess. It's fucking Mantis, and he's here to pwn.
To grab a costume and suit up, and the Rain City superheroes are born.
You may be thinking to yourself, Mantis, we're hearing a whole fuckload about Phoenix Jones's supersuit. What about your supersuit, bro? What about your fucking costume? My costume was just as cool, where Phoenix Jones's is stab resistant and fucking bulletproof and whatever the fuck he's done to that. My costume was simply a sweater with Mantis embroidered. Look at this pussy slayer right here. Look at this fucking that fucking But what's really cool about this, man, is we got to go out there and like give food for homeless people, get fucking like people, we called people cabs if they were drunk and stumbling and stuff. It was a really good time. And what I'd like to do right now is show you the first time I was out and what exactly happened there, and I'll do a little bit of commentary over it.
What are you looking at? Two guys over there. No, in the parking lot over there. Looks like they're squaring up. Yeah, parking guy, I got it. Three guys. Right. Fight! PJ!
So just a little rundown. This guy was beating up on a chick, on some girl in this parking lot, and he just threw a miniature baseball bat at her car. And for some reason that triggered me super fast, and I just fucking take off after this guy, and you'll be able to see me do that here coming up next.
Oh, hey there, pussy. Please don't. Just let it be. Hey, watch the stick!
Pitching Mantis have got him.
Needless to say, I wrecked the scrub, and it was a very good time. It was super exhilarating, and it was super fun to go out there and actually do something, and it really did feel like we were making a difference in our community. All right? So now, you know, I get a little used to being around Phoenix. I get a little used to, like, kind of being his sidekick. I drove him everywhere. We did radio interviews together.
With us, you've had just a bit of a busy kind of last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been an interesting last couple weeks, I can say.
Why do you have your mask on?
What do you mean?
You're among friends, and we know what you look like now.
Yeah, that's true.
But most importantly, together as a team, me and the rest of the Rain City superhero movement, including Phoenix Jones, he was the leader of the Rain City superhero movement, which was a part of the RLSH community, the real life superhero community, which I'll get into a little bit later. But we had this huge team, and I'll show a picture of the team right now. A gorgeous team, a fantastic team of guys. That these guys are actually really genuinely cool guys, and like I'm not going to get into each one of them and like what their super persona is, and actually I don't even know like any of their real identities, maybe like one or two of them, because that's how secretive this little group was. And it was just a really cool thing to experience, But let's go out to maybe something a little more action-packed. Like, I'm sure you guys are thinking, like, I'm sure people out there have weapons, and it's like, what are you guys doing out there? Like, what are you doing? Well, here's what we do if something like that happens.
Come on, man!
Hey, will you press charges if I catch him?
I just want to beat his ass. He's a sucker.
That's not how it works.
He got this little blade like he want to cut my throat or something.
Hey, he has a blade? He has a knife?
Yeah, he got a nice short one.
Hey, if you will wait, can I?
I'm not waiting till my best friend tell me what to do.
Okay, but can I call the police and get him detained?
Bitch, don't go there alone. Bitch, he trying to cut my throat, bitch. I ain't running up on that. That nigga got a blade that'll kill us all right there.
Don't crowd him. We're on 7th and Bell. He's trying to hail a taxi. No. Hey, he's got a weapon. He's got a weapon. He's got a weapon, bro. No, he's got a weapon. Don't drive. Don't drive. Oh, sorry. He's trying to get in a taxi. He's in yellow cab 867.
Don't let him out the crowd.
Yep, yellow cab 867. No.
Hey, hold on, man. Hold on.
Wait, don't. Hey, boss. He has a weapon. Roll your window down. Roll your window down. Roll the window.
Man.
He's got a weapon. He's got a weapon. He just tried to hurt people, bro. Don't. We're calling 912. Everybody back up. Give him space.
Back up. Step back. Step back. Get the guy in the back seat of the car.
Guy in the cab. We're going to walk away. The cops are here. I'm going to go. Cops are here.
No, he just stabbed. Listen, no. He just stabbed my best friend. He can't breathe on second.
He's on second?
Whoa, get on that. On 2nd Avenue stabbing, man.
Wait, there's cops right here. Like, you breathe it in.
We have a man down on second.
Man, for real, my
On second? What's the street? We're going to go. What's the street?
2nd and Blanchard. 2nd and Blanchard.
Lean down. 2nd and Blanchard.
2nd and Blanchard!
He's on the ground on second.
We didn't know there was, at the time we thought he had just gotten punched in the back. We didn't know it was a stab.
We know it was a stab.
Once I saw the knife, we knew we had to get the guy.
What's your phone number? My phone number? Mantis, you have my phone number?
I do have
Tell him my phone number.
Sorry,
New
we don't
phone.
know.
I know my number.
I don't call myself a lot either.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Hope this guy's okay.
I really hope so too.
Yeah, you have a great night. Thank you very much.
And that was a crazy fucking night, dude. Because what had happened, this guy had like a fucking... God, it was an enormous knife. It was so fucking big. And he stabbed this dude in the fucking back. It was like a 2-inch knife wound. And the guy didn't want us to do anything about it because he had a warrant or something, and he didn't want like the cops to like arrest him for like being involved in such a thing. You know what I mean? And like so it was a really hard call, and it was a really big eye opener to me about like the way the streets work and how to react under pressure. You know what I mean? But now I kind of want to talk about the real life superhero community, and just kind of one guy in particular who really charmed me, and like I really enjoyed his company. And that guy is this man right here, Thanatos. Thanatos lives in Vancouver, BC, and he's an old timer. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to divulge the man's age because it's not my business. But let's say he's an old timer and he's experienced. And I have quite the story about this guy, man. One time, you know, Ben calls me up and he's like, hey, man, what's up? You know, like, I got this guy, Thanatos. We're doing the Dr. Drew show down in California, down in LA. And, you know, he wants Thanatos to be there too. And we need to get Thanatos down here. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, so listen, Mantis, I got some money for you. And I'd like you to do something. I'm like, okay, dude, let's hear it. So I'm like, well, what's up, you know? And I'm not trying to incriminate anybody. This is just like what happened. All right. So he gives me fucking $800, dude. Like, we're talking big dog money. Like, he gives me $400 to pick this guy up from the Canadian border. No problem. But I mean, there is a little bit of a problem, because when we get there, dude, my wife like wanted to kill me, because like we get up to the border and they're like, yeah, what's your business coming into Canada? And I'm like, I'm here to pick up a member of my organization. And my wife's like, what the fuck? And they're like, were you paid to pick this person up? I'm like, yeah. Like $400. So pretty much the worst things you can fucking say to somebody. And I had to like get our like agent on the phone, and I had to get our fucking lawyer on the phone, and I'm pretty sure I had to get Ben on the phone to explain that I'm a fucking idiot, and like we're like public figures, we're like entertainers almost in that category. So like that's what I meant, and like I wasn't trying to be secretive, I just didn't know what the fuck to say. Like, so anyway, we pick up Thanatos and we drive him down to SeaTac, which is a pretty deep drive. We're talking like down I-5 from Vancouver, BC, all the way towards like Tacoma, past Seattle. You know, you get to that airport. We're looking at maybe a 6-hour drive. I'm not completely sure on my facts there, but I mean, like, it's a deep drive. And so like I had a lot of time to get to know this guy. Super interesting guy. He told me a ton of stories about like his experience as a real life superhero, and like his experience in fighting crime. And he told me about his kids, and he told me about why he wants to do like the superhero thing. And he was such a genuinely cool guy. And we just, you know, chain smoked cigarettes and fucking drove down to the airport and talked and stuff. But see, the tricky part the tricky part is when we bring him back, this fucking guy, and I'm still mad at you, Thanatos. If you ever see this video, I'm still mad at you, you fuck, because you got me in trouble, dude. Because what you did was, we drive him back up to Canada, no big deal. We're going to Canada, big party time, let's go. Fucking, we get into Blaine, Washington. I don't know how many people have been to the Canadian-Washington border, but Blaine, Washington is pretty much like the last little city town situation before like the border. It's pretty much on the border. And we get up there, and like I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting close to the border, you know. I'm saying my goodbyes to him, getting him ready. It's nighttime. He had just got done doing the Dr. Drew show, and he goes, oh, just stop right here. And we're like in the United States. I'm like, okay, you know, we're like in this park, and he just like, hey, you know, thanks, Mantis, it was really nice to know you, you know, like and we said our goodbyes, and this dude just like disappears into the fucking shadows of this fucking like United States park, and he says he's going back to Canada. I'm like, oh fuck, you know, like that was kind of weird. My wife thought it was kind of weird, you know. And so we're like driving away, you know, like whatever, let's just like get out of here. And he's gonna do his own thing. At this point, it was out of my hands, you know, like he's gonna do what he's gonna do. Maybe it's easier for him to get over the border that way because he's a Canadian citizen. That's legitimately what I thought, because I'm fucking naive. And there's probably 100 people that'll tell you that that's probably not the right way of thinking. But man, it's just a little slow. So anyway, I'm driving back home. I'm like, yeah, we're still in Blaine, and like 3 cop cars fucking pull up behind me, dude. And we're talking like guns drawn cop cars, and they're like, what's going on, dude? Like, who the fuck was that you just let out? And I'm like, oh shit. And I had to explain to them all over that we're entertainers. And because we were like borderline celebrity in that area, and like because of Phoenix Jones's name, and because of the Dr. Drew show, and I could prove everything on the internet and stuff like that, they fucking let me go. And I was just like, yeah, you know, I don't know what's going on, you know, that's kind of your guys' problem once he leaves my car. And they agreed with me. And I explained to them I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but fuck you, Thanatos, because you still got me in a lot of fucking trouble, and I could have gotten in a lot more trouble, you fuck. But I still love you because you're a fucking great guy, and it was really cool to be in a car with you that long. And I'll never forget it, man. That was fucking awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Phoenix, for letting me be a part of this for, you know, just a little bit. And what's really cool, you know, is we start to meet like these really cool people. Like Chris Pratt wants to meet me, and fucking Rainn Wilson and Mindy Kaling, and like it's fucking crazy because like we were gonna get this TV show, this reality TV show, but it kind of fell through. And you know, I can see the appeal to it because you think knives are bad. Look what happens when something like this happens.
Get down! Brad, shield up! Brad, shield up! Get down! Give me the shield. What's going on? Get me out of the field. Hey, let go. I gotta get in there. Let go. Who's shooting? Motor! Hey, Motor, back up! Where's the shooter?
He ran down the block.
What?
He ran down the block. Go around. Phoenix, go around.
Hey, grab it.
Jesus Christ. Go.
The shooter was this way.
Get him? Is that the victim or the shooter? I don't know.
That's the shooter.
No, wait, that's the shooter. He's on the ground.
Hey, they got the shooter.
Hey, man.
Get him, you good guy, man. I've seen you in the years, man. I respect what you do.
And you may be asking, like, Mantis, like, this is so exciting and so crazy, and I definitely agree. This is a part of my life that I'll never forget, and I always, like, you know, I'm never afraid to really talk about it, because it was so cool to me when it was happening. But you may be thinking, like, well, if I liked it so much, and everything was going so well, and me and Ben were such good friends, what happened? Well, like, why aren't you doing that anymore? And, you know, complete transparency, I'll tell you why I'm not doing that anymore. I was in a really rough spot. The only income I was really making at the time was anything Phoenix was paying me. I didn't have a job, and I was devoting all of my time into this. My wife was working as a seamstress at a bridal shop in Seattle, and I was doing this, and the money was very slim. So what had happened was I got super sick for like it was like 3 weeks. I had the horrible flu. But about after two or 3 days of having the flu, I was like, I'll know what I'll do. I'll pawn my gear until I get better. And then when I'm better and I can go back on patrol, I should have the money to get it back out. But we need the money now, so that could work. So Ben had given me a few things that a friend of mine at the pawn shop wouldn't mind putting into pawn. One of which was a bulletproof vest. Okay? So when I mentioned before we were going to do this TV thing, when the producers came in, it was a Trip Taylor joint. He did Wild Boys and Jackass. When Trip came in, they were asking like, "Hey, Mantis, where's your bulletproof vest?" And I was like, "Oh, you know, I'll get it. Sorry that I don't have it on me." And I lied about it because, you know, I was kind of worried about what they would think of me, honestly. And so what ended up happening was, you know, the next day, since it was, you know, I didn't get home until 1 or 2 in the morning. The next day I went and I immediately got it out of pawn. The next time I saw Ben, I had it and I gave it to him. You know, bada bing, bada boom. But he must have contacted somebody that knew that I pawned it, or someone may have told him that I pawned it, because he asked me directly later in a big group of people, almost like they were jumping me out of the gang. It was kind of like they circled around me, and he was like, "Hey, did you pawn that bulletproof vest?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I did, and I'm sorry about that. And the reason I didn't tell you is because I was embarrassed, dude." And he was like, "Okay, so this is what's going to happen. You know, you lied to me, and that's mistrust. So either you can fight me right now, you know, and then we can call it good. Nothing ever happened." He's like, "You're definitely out of the group, but, like, we can still be friends, or you can, you know, you can take your piece and walk right now, and, like, you know, we'll probably never speak again." And, you know, honestly, I bitched out. Looking at Ben like this, you know, look at Ben here. Look at Ben Fodor. And I wasn't even back then, when I was in what I considered to be decent shape, I wasn't nearly in the shape he was in. So I was afraid of just getting fucking laid out, dude. And honestly, I bitched out and I left. And I think that spoke to him as me saying that I didn't respect his friendship or anything like that. But honestly, it was just a guy who was scared. I did try to come back and shake his hand and tell him that, like, I really respected what he gave me and what he allowed me to do. But he wasn't really trying to hear it, and I don't blame him. So, like, at the beginning, he took my Mantis shirt as a souvenir because I bitched out. And honestly, looking back on it, I wish it would have worked out different. I would rather have taken a punch than like have this animosity between me and Ben, because I do like the guy and I respect a hell of a lot of what he does. But at the same time, you know, maybe he didn't go about it the right way. I don't know. That's really for other people to decide. But that was my time as a real-life superhero, beginning to end. Feel free to ask questions, guys. And if you liked it, make sure to give me a like down there. And this was probably my most important video ever. I mean, you see my face, you get to know a huge amount about my past, and I was really happy to share with you guys. So, keep on trucking, and it's been Mantis.
Why are you wearing that costume?
It's my super suit. It's bulletproof, it's stab resistant. It
Really?
gives me a, you know, I guess I found it's pretty shoe resistant. Gives me a little bit of extra comfort when I'm on the
why?
street.
Why do you wear the costume? Why do you do this as a superhero?
I think you have to draw attention to the fact that crime's not okay, and that there's people running around who are just out of control. And the only way to really the only way I can think of to draw attention to the fact and not look like I was going to do something bad, you know, with like a ski mask and all bulletproof gear, I took an image that meant something to me, and I took the image of a superhero and made it my own, and went out there and stopped crime.